And welcome back to Lycan Studios. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. So for today's video, we're actually going to be recapping the fate of the Starks. I did a live stream on the topic and it was really awesome, but a lot of people are clicking on that video and kind of upset that I'm rambling on about certain things and then I'm taking time to reply to you guys. So I figured we would just redo the video, make a cut and dry, kind of remake of it. So anyways, we're going to be talking about, of course, Bran, Arya, and Sansa. So definitely let me know in the comments what you guys are going to be expecting these characters to kind of go through, and what do you guys think they're going to do? Do you guys think they're going to live? Do you guys think they'll play a big pivotal role in the Battle of the White Walkers or with Cersei and King's Landing? What do you guys think is going to go down with them? So definitely let me know in the comments below. All right, so starting off with Bran. I think that Bran is probably going to live, but as we know, he's not really Bran Stark anymore. He, of course, is the three-eyed raven. So whether that means he ends up kind of just hanging out in the trees like the other one, or basically that he's kind of just like a shell of his former self. Bran Stark, as we know, is pretty much dead, but I think his body is vessel, the three-eyed raven, I think will continue on, and I believe he will live. I don't really get down with the whole, magic will be gone, dragons will be gone, all that stuff at the end, but you never know. I'm definitely open to pretty much every interpretation, but yeah, I think Bran Stark will live. Now, as far as his role in the upcoming season and the final season, I feel like he's pretty much just going to be a major supporting character. I don't really think, kind of like Jojen says, I don't really think he's the one to stop the Night King. I think he's going to play a big role, but I don't see it. I think that's Jon. I think it's got to be Jon. I think he's the one that finally gets the kill on the Night King, and yeah, I think he's just going to be a very big supporting character. He's going to help Jon figure out about his parents. I think him and Sam are going to be kind of like the power couple when it comes to like figuring out the past and maybe just figuring out why everything is going down the way it is. Now that I've been reading the books and stuff too, I kind of just furthermore feel as if Bran's really not like as important as a lot of people think he's going to be. Like, I don't really think he's the one to take out the Night King, and this is because I actually didn't know it. I'm just now on book 3. You guys know I've been working on catching up and stuff. I think I'm on book 3, like chapter 10 or 11 or something like that, but Jon is actually a warg as well, it looks like. So Bran just being a warg isn't really, as special as kind of what I thought it was, since in the books, obviously Jon is, and I'm pretty sure Arya ends up being one too. So yeah, it's definitely very interesting. Of course, they're not going to be able to control it like Bran, but yeah, it kind of just, it really makes me think that his character is definitely not going to be the one to just kind of completely change the outcome. I think it's going to be Jon still, but I do feel like Bran is going to be very important in a sense where, like I said, he's going to be a big supporting role. He's going to help everybody figure out what's going on. He's going to, I mean, it's really endless, the possibilities. He still could end up being tied to the Night King somehow. Maybe he ends up dying if the Night King is defeated or vice versa. Like, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I don't think he is the Night King. A lot of people like that theory, and that was one of my favorite ones in the beginning as well, but I don't know. I think he's basically just going to be a big supporting role, and I don't know. It'll be just really interesting to see what kind of visions and stuff he ends up having, and if he wargs a dragon. That's what I'm gonna leave you guys with. Do you guys think that Bran will warg a dragon? I think so. All right, so now moving on to Arya. Like I said, we're gonna try to keep this going pretty quickly, but yeah, I think Arya will definitely live as well. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with all 3 of them are going to live. So definitely interesting. Probably not a good chance of that. But nonetheless, I think Arya will live as well. I think she's going to be in some major fights and stuff like that. She's possibly going to be kind of sneaking around, maybe assassinating I think she'll probably come more in handy when they fight Cersei's army and stuff like that, the Lannisters. But yeah, I think she's going to be sneaky. She could be going behind enemy lines and stuff like that. She is pretty much, she's a faceless, she's no one. She's a faceless man, but or woman, I guess. I don't know, but nonetheless, I think she will definitely be stealthy, and I think the biggest thing for her is that I really think she gets the kill on Cersei Lannister. I think she probably deserves it more than anyone almost. Maybe Sansa can make an argument for that just because of what she put her through in King's Landing and stuff with Joffrey and everything, but I don't know. Arya, she's taken a lot from Arya. That's the whole reason Arya ended up, going through what she did, which in the books I think is a little bit worse than what it was depicted in the show. But nonetheless, I think Arya ends up getting the kill on Cersei using Jaime's face, completing the Valonqar prophecy. And yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. Now, the biggest question for me with Arya is what happens after it's all said and done. I don't really know how far deep they're going to go into it, but I kind of feel like Arya just kind of, just kind of does her own thing. I think she ends up just being an assassin and probably leaves. I don't think she's really going to be sticking around. I don't think there's really going to be much left for her after all this is said and done. Now, I think with the Faceless Men, I don't really feel like they're going to come back. What do you guys think? That's the biggest question for Arya's character arc, I think, is do you guys think the Faceless Men, Jack and Hagar, the Waif, possibly could be coming back? I know people seen him, I think, at the rap party or whatever, but I honestly think they're done. I don't think they're coming back. That's just such a big storyline. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think the Faceless Men are coming back? And what do you guys think goes down with Arya? I think she's basically just going to be, you know, killing people left and right. I think her combat skills are pretty good. I think they're pretty polished as of right now. I'm not too sure if she's going to be like charging in with Jon, but I think she could be kind of pulling some sneaky stealth moves around the outside or something. So nonetheless, I do think she gets the kill on Cersei. I hope she gets the kill on Cersei, and I think she lives and then disappears. I don't think anybody will really ever see much of her again. I don't think she gets with Gendry. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think about Arya. And last but not least, we have probably the one that I've been super wishy-washy over, and that is Sansa. What is going to go down with Sansa? So obviously in the show with Ramsay Bolton and everything, she is probably the character that has been beaten, tortured, raped. You know, it's bad. She's had a really bad time. Now, the more I look into it and stuff, the more I feel like she is going to live. I know I'm picking all three of them to live. It's probably not going to happen. I'm not that naive, definitely, but I think if I had to pick one of them to die, I honestly think it would be Arya. I think Brandon ends up living, and I think the directors, I don't know what the rabbit's doing. I just think the directors like Sansa enough, and they've put her through enough to where I think she ends up living. So yeah, I think at this point it could change in a couple days. You never know. I change my mind a lot. It's just I'm trying to be open to everything, and when someone tells me something really cool, I'm like, God, that makes a lot of sense. But as of right now, I think if one of the three had to die, it would be Arya, and then after that, probably Bran, because I'm honestly to the point to where I really think Sansa is going to live. So basically, like I said, she's went through all this crap. In the books, the more and more like I get to know her character and stuff, some of it just seems like her fault though, and I hate to feel like that, because she's a younger girl, of course, and she just has this idea of everybody, or like how, you know, the kingdom is supposed to be, how knights are supposed to treat people, and then she's basically blindsided with the fact that people are pretty much crappy. So she's been through a lot. She's definitely developed. She's been taught pretty much by one of the best players in the game how to play the Game of Thrones with Cersei, you know. So I don't know. I just think that she ends up making her way through it. I honestly do not really see how she could die, because she's not going to be in the front lines. So what else would that leave? That would mean that she would probably be at Winterfell, and Winterfell would be overran, and then she would just be killed somewhere right there, I imagine. So yeah, she's definitely not going to be in the front lines, so she's not as likely to die, you would think, because she's not going to be fighting. And plus, I think afterwards, if Dany ends up breaking the will like she wants to, or just however it goes down, there's got to be some type of like council. And I think Sansa would be the perfect person to kind of be the face of the new council, of the new kingdom. So I don't know. That's just kind of how I'm feeling about it right now. Even Red Sonja, she posted on Patreon. I'll probably pause the video and then I'll find it and I'll read what she had to say. But yeah, it was very interesting to see Sonja actually kind of agreeing a little bit with what I've been starting to think about. So I'll pull this up real quick and then we'll read what she has to say. All right, so Red Sonja 4 says, I've been thinking a lot about Sansa lately. And by the way, I posted this on my Patreon. That way people could kind of put their input in it. And she was the only one that left a comment, so that's what we're doing. She says, I think she will not only survive, but will be a part of the council or round table that's going to rule Westeros at the end. I'd like to see her and Tyrion together at the end, not because I ship them, but because I think it's necessary for the completion of her character's arc. She started the series as naive and idealistic. She thought all knights were noble and fell for pretty boys who were actually monsters. We've watched her come to realize that knighthood doesn't necessarily equate to goodness. I hope we get to see her realize that the packaging is less important than what's inside. Choosing to stay with Tyrion would brilliantly illustrate that point. Plus, it would just be so Elizabeth of York, Henry VII at the end of the War of the Roses. P.S. You have to admit, this is the most optimistic theory about the series I've had so far. You ain't joking. But yeah, I absolutely love that. I wasn't really one to say that I thought she would stick with Tyrion, just because she would still associate him with kind of her past, and I think it would just be too troublesome for her. But if they did kind of make it to where that's what ended up happening. That would be absolutely awesome. Just like Red Sonja said, it would basically show that she's kind of adapted to where she doesn't really believe like how she used to. Basically like she said, where was it? It was a good sentence. She said, we've watched her come to realize that knighthood doesn't necessarily equate to goodness. Hope we get to see her realize that the packaging is less important than what's inside. So, like she said, choosing to stay with Tyrion would brilliantly illustrate that point. I just think that's absolutely awesome. I would 100% love if Sansa went that way, and it would kind of almost turn her to where she has become this character that I actually enjoy watching. And I actually, you know, I really want to see what happens next with her. Before, I'm not going to lie, like I kind of just felt like Sansa was kind of getting herself into all this nonsense. She kind of got her dad killed and stuff. And that's just kind of the train of thought that I was going with. But I think you got to look a little bit deeper and kind of, I don't know, think if you were in their shoes, because she was definitely blindsided by what King's Landing was all about and what knighthood and Cersei and royalty was all about. So definitely very interesting for Sansa. But yeah, I do want to definitely say shout out to Red Sonja for that post. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all of you guys, the Patreon supporters. You guys are sticking with me while I'm going through this YouTube crap. All you guys just watching the videos and stuff, it absolutely means a lot. I think I ended up with almost 6,000 views on that last video, so that's just absolutely incredible. You guys are fantastic. I'm still waiting to hear from YouTube. I've tweeted at them, I've emailed them. It's been a month now since I put in my partnership application again, so just waiting to hear from them. It kind of sucks. It's definitely demotivating and all kinds of other stuff, but nonetheless, I'm trying to pull through it. And yeah, I definitely have some amazing video ideas coming up soon. But nonetheless, let's recap this video real quick. So Bran probably going to be, I think he's going to live, but if I had to pick, I would say he would be the second one to die, with Arya being first. But I do think she's going to live too. I don't think they're all three going to live, so I don't know. But yeah, definitely tough. But anyway, so Bran, big supporting role, is going to tell Jon about his parentage and all that. Is going to be working closely with Samwell Tarly, I do believe, and then I think he possibly just pretty much ends up living in the trees, kind of like the Three-Eyed Raven was before. And basically, as we know, Bran, he's pretty much gone. He's just the Three-Eyed Raven. He's kind of just using Bran as a vessel almost. So then we have Arya. I think she's going to play a good role in kind of the fighting, not really like anything major until we get to the point to where Cersei must die. And I do believe that's probably going to come towards the end of the seasons, or the end of the season, the end of the show, basically. I think they're going to kind of end it with Cersei's death. But yeah, I think Arya gets the kill on her using Jaime's face, completing the Valonqar prophecy would be absolutely amazing. And then she kind of just disappears into the shadows. I think, yeah, she just goes back to being an assassin possibly. I don't think the Faceless Men come back. And then with Sansa, I think Sansa ends up living. I think she has the highest survival chance out of all three. That's kind of how I should have been saying it. I feel like Sansa has a pretty good survival chance. I feel like they all three do, but in that order, Sansa highest, then Bran, then Arya. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think Sansa ends up being like the political face of the new kingdom, the new council, the new round table. And yeah, I think she lives. I think she plays that role. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. I'm not even sure how long this is going to end up being. I've kind of did it in pieces. Hopefully you guys like the screen. I enlarged myself a little bit. That sounds weird. I made my camera a little bit bigger, and I made the TV over there a little bit bigger. So hopefully you guys can see it. I know I was getting a couple comments where people couldn't see it too well, but I don't really want to enlarge it too crazily, and I don't want it to be the full screen just because I think that's more apt to catch me on copyrights and stuff like that. Apparently I'm allowed to use like pictures and videos and stuff, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way because YouTube's not very reliable. But nonetheless, I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. This has been Lycan Studios. Shout out to all of you guys watching, all the Patreons. You guys are absolutely awesome. And we will have some clothes out soon. I did release a video. Not sure if you guys seen it. I ended up taking it down. It was basically a big mishap on my part. I was trying to use basically a logo from Game of Thrones into a shirt, and people were kind of getting upset that I was selling it. I wasn't even making any money off of it, maybe like $1 per shirt or whatever, nothing like significant or anything, but I ended up taking it down. And then I tried working on 2 new ones, but I just used Winter is Coming with my logo and it still flagged it. So I'm not too sure what's going to go down. It may be where I use the Game of Thrones text, but yeah, we'll definitely have some shirts available pretty soon. If you're excited about that, definitely let me know. We'll see you in the next video. I better wrap this up right now. This has been Lycan Studios. Peace.